Today, we're gonna master a kitchen classic, the perfect crispy fried egg.
So what's our goal here? It's simple, really. We want those beautifully crisp, lacy whites and a perfectly soft, runny yolk. And we're gonna do it in just one pan, with absolutely zero sticking. The secret? It's a simple, repeatable method that just comes down to mastering two things: heat and timing.
Okay, your setup for success couldn't be simpler. All you need is one large egg, about 1.5 tablespoons of a neutral oil, and a little salt. And for tools, just grab a skillet and a spatula. That's it.
All right, first things first, let's tackle the biggest frustration, right? Why on earth do eggs stick to the pan?
Well, the cause is almost always the same thing: a cold pan. See, when you add your oil and egg to a pan that's not hot enough, the proteins in the egg actually start to form chemical bonds with the metal. But the solution is super simple. You've got to heat your skillet on medium before you even think about adding the oil. This creates a nice barrier that stops that sticking from ever happening.
So let's get started. Your first action: place your skillet right on the stove. Now, go ahead and set the heat to medium. And seriously, don't rush this part. Just let it heat up for a good minute or two.
Okay, while that pan is heating up, let's talk about the next common mistake. You know the one: how do you avoid that burnt, crispy bottom while the top is still raw?
That mistake usually comes from using heat that's way too high. The real solution here is all about getting the perfect oil temperature. When you nail that, the egg cooks evenly and you get those amazing crispy edges we're looking for.
And for that, you're going to want to use exactly 1.5 tablespoons of oil. Now, this amount is really key. It's just enough to kind of shallow fry the edges and get that crispy texture, but not so much that the egg ends up all greasy. All right, your pan should be nicely preheated by now. So go ahead, add the oil right into that hot pan.
Now this part is important. This is your key sensory cue. Don't guess here, just watch the oil really closely. When you see it start to shimmer and it flows kind of quickly, almost like water, that's it. The heat is perfect. That's your signal that it is time for the egg.
So the second you see that shimmer, crack your egg and gently drop it right into the center of the pan.
And you'll know immediately if you got the temperature right. Here's your confirmation. The whites should instantly start to bubble up and set around the edges. That's how you get that beautiful, lacy texture. But at the same time, the center, right around the yolk, should stay pretty calm. If nothing happens at all, your oil is too cold. And if it just splatters like crazy, well, it's too hot.
Okay, and here is a really crucial instruction. Do not move the egg. Seriously, don't poke it, don't swirl the pan, just let the hot oil and the steady heat do their thing. You gotta trust the process.
So how long does this whole thing take? You're only looking at about 2 to 3 minutes. I mean, you can set a timer if you want, but honestly, your own senses are gonna be an even better guide here.
After about 2 minutes, it's time for the doneness check. Just gently nudge the pan. What you're looking for is for the whites to be totally set and crispy on the edges. But the yolk? The yolk should still have a very distinct, gentle jiggle to it. That jiggle is the sign that you have a perfect liquid center waiting for you. As soon as you see that jiggle, you're good to go. Slide a thin spatula carefully under the egg, and hey, it should glide right under with zero sticking, and then just lift it out and onto your plate. And now for the final step. You're going to season the egg with salt after it's done cooking. Why? Well, if you add salt earlier, it can actually draw moisture out and mess with the texture of the whites. So just a light sprinkle right now is all it needs.
And there you have it. That right there is the result of getting the heat and timing just right. You get these unbelievably crisp, bubbly whites and a perfectly rich, runny yolk. It's exactly what we promised at the very beginning.
You know, mastering a simple technique like this, it isn't just about one dish. It's really about understanding the fundamentals of cooking. So you've just perfected the fried egg. The only question left is, what fundamental skill are you going to perfect next?